Hey guys, ToxicRoach here, and I'm going to show you how to build Minecraft real working cannons that fire TNT blocks for real. Check this out. This is really cool. Boom! There it goes. That's right. Real working, real firing TNT cannons. Now, this is a design a friend of mine showed me way back in the day. Torch Red. If you play on Uber, you'll know who that is. He showed me this design a while back. He designed it. He came up with it. Essentially, the redstone here activates the charge. This is your charge here. And this is your projectile. Now, the top redstone, the reason this is delayed is because it has to be. If this goes off at the same time these do, it'll just blow the whole thing up. This has to fire a little later, or be activated a little later. And these repeaters also work as a delay, so you can actually adjust the range you want the cannon to fire. So if I delay those a little more, the cannon goes a little farther and blows up a little later. Now you probably can't see it. But the reason it doesn't blow the whole thing up, obviously, is because when TNT is placed in water, it doesn't do any damage. So the reason, if you just build this as is, you're going to have issues. You've got to remember to have a clear block over here where the water is placed. Now you don't put anything in there, because if you do, the water will go away and nothing will happen. And the whole thing will just detonate, essentially. Water pushes all these forward and launches that block. Detonate. Also, an important thing to remember is put a half slab here. So when the block drops, it'll drop onto the half slab and get a nice volley. If it drops all the way down, it'll just kind of fire down and not really get a lot of distance. So my friend showed me this, and I was inspired. I had that Minecraft itch to build and do things with it. And one of the things I did was I created a pirate ship. Her name is the Ender Pearl. I know, a little dorky, but I had a lot of fun building this and putting it together. I'm taking exploring out, and in the bottom of it, you can see down here, I have several cannons linked up. These are all fully functioning and all linked together. So when I push one button, they all fire. Now, my friend saw what I had done, and he got excited, so I pulled it into my server, and he built his own boat with twice as many cannons as me, which is kind of funny, because a lot of these don't even hit my boat. But we created a game out of it. The idea is we both fire at the same time, and whoever has, we take damage accordingly, but the first person who is no longer able to fire cannons loses. Simple as that. But just for shits and giggles, I'm going to blow up his boat because it's really fun. I push the button, cannons get primed and ready to fire. They get launched. And victory goes to me. So you can really see the destructive power of these cannons. Now, the reason his boat sustained a lot of damage is because it was loaded with TNT, but it does pick away at it little bit by little bit, and after we were done volleying, we would go down, reload the cannons, and then come back and fire again. And it was a game we would play forever, and we would just back up our files. That's the other thing. When you're working with these cannons, you back up your files, because shit like this can happen to something you're building, and if it's not backed up, all that hard work is gone. And I've had this happen to me, and I stopped playing Minecraft. I can't play it. I am so upset. So back up your files, because working with these cannons can cause serious issues if you're not doing it right or if you're not careful. So I took this cannon idea, and I'm like, okay, this is really cool, but it can be way better. So I created this. This fires 4 blocks and it has a much larger charge. And I noticed that the more blocks are placed by the projectile, the farther it goes. So, just for sake, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Now I'm embarrassed. So I fire this one off. Water pushes it forward, launches those 4 blocks way farther. I think I did the math, and it was almost doubled in range. And like I said, if you delay this a little bit, and remember to place it a good block higher than you would, because of these have to fall. Also, have good stuff above it, because originally what was happening is these get activated, and they do that little hop, and we're landing on these blocks and detonating the whole thing. Also, good thing to remember when you're making this, have a staircase or another block here that does not transmit power. Because if it does transmit power, this will go through, activate that, which activates this. That you don't want. You want this activated later. So you throw in a staircase or something else to make sure that power is not transmitted. You could even just have nothing there, but I don't like the way that looks. So remember that also here. Staircases have to be here to make sure power isn't transmitted. And these just hop up. Block here can activate that and that. And it just sends them flying. And it is just so cool. See if I can load it up for you guys again. Also, if you want them to kind of go far, but if you don't want them to go as far, like even if these are fully at basic stops and it's still too far, you would decrease the number of TNT blocks here. Like, so if you're doing 4, it would really decrease the amount of distance these projectiles go. So there are a lot of things you can do to really hone in the range that you want this gun to fire. I'll fire it again for you guys, just to show you. Boom! And a lot of times you'll get that shotgun kind of spatter effect, but with that can be fixed with simply placing blocks here, because that kind of focuses them and creates a barrel, and you don't have to worry about it so much. I like the shotgun effect. It creates more damage per area. So again, I made this. It worked great, but I thought it can be better. I'm almost there. And so I'm like, okay, this is really annoying. I have to keep reloading it every time I fire it. How do I fix that problem? Well, I tried a bunch of different options, and I ended up with this. That's right. This is a semi-automatic firing cannon. It uses similar principles to a drawbridge I designed way back when. I'll post a video for that as well that you guys can see. I should put it in the annotations, or I'll put the link below. And the basic idea is pistons here, push the TNT, gravel falls so that they can push them again. And this allows for large amounts of blocks to be moved multiple meters. Also, obsidian here separating the charge and the and these are the projectiles. This is your magazine right here. As these get fired, the pistons push them forward, and the projectile or the gravel lock drops, so another projectile can be loaded. And if the charge here is by the spare projectiles, the whole thing will just detonate it. Which, like I said, I've had happen a few times. You know, one wrong piston, one thing isn't timed right, and literally this thing just vanishes. Just vanishes. And then I want to put a bullet in my head. But all it takes is a small timing circuit, just a delay, and to make sure it goes to these pistons here and fires all these pistons here. Now, these bottom ones have to push up before these can push out. That's the only thing you have to remember, is these have to go first before these. And I'll show you guys. it firing and reloading. Because it's really cool. So I push the button. These drop. Get launched. And the whole thing resets. It can be fired, I think, 6 times before you have to go. I mean, you have to go in and replace all the items. You have to put the TNT back, put the gravel back. Same thing up here. Put the gravel back, put the TNT back. But that really shouldn't, you know, it's a lot easier to do than going back up and down 1,000 times. You can kind of see what's happening here. I'll show you a few of these. And it's just a lot of fun, and I got really excited. And as you can see, the timing circuits are along here, so you can really delay it and pump the range. And you can kind of see how far it was going. This is a target I was kind of picking at for a while. And these blocks back here, I think, were the maximum range. Like, fully maxed out timing circuit was getting the blocks all the way over, getting those TNT blocks all the way over here. I think it was something like, and it was like something like 150 meters, way far out, and just totally awesome. And like you can just see, you can see the damage it does. It really wrecks you. And again, cool. But since this was my final design, I had to do something special with it. So I thought back to the old first one that I did, and how I put it on a pirate ship. Well, I can't put that big thing on a pirate ship like this. It wouldn't make sense, and pirates really didn't have that. So I did something really special. I created a full-size naval battleship. That's right. This thing is big, and these are the pretty much condensed versions of the large cannon that you saw. I made them small. I made the design smaller, brought it in, and I've got 4 of these things on this big ship by my Mushroom Island. I'm gonna show you guys the inside. Oh, I hate buttons. Come down here. Here's the lower levels. Now that timing circuit you saw for the reload, I really only had to build one of those. I built one and I hooked it up to all the cannons, which you can kind of see over here, the lower. They're all hooked up to the timing circuit and the firing mechanism. That way, they can all be reloaded at the same time, and they all can be fired at the same time. And this was a real challenge to make, I think. It took a lot of planning and building. And again, I had, not without my share of difficulties, I had this thing totally vanish on me a few times due to, you know, because if these pistons push up on a TNT block, it'll activate it. The pressure will just activate it and cause it to explode. And so then once those go off, all the TNT blocks go off, and the entire thing gets just completely obliterated. And it is just, but once I finally got it working and everything functioning properly, I was very, very happy. So I can show you a little bit. So I can go through the levels of the upper deck. I didn't really design the interior. I was too happy with what I had done. And then you get to this top level. Unleash hell. This is actually really helpful. I hooked this up to the final end of the timing circuit because I realized that if you push the button to fire again before the timing circuit has activated, what will happen is that it'll detonate. It'll just blow the whole thing up. So this little light here goes off when the whole thing is ready to go again. So I push the button. All 4 cannons fire. And you can see them kind of picking away at the island there. It should be all reset. So we can try it again. Cannons get fired. Gets reset, and the light goes off. Now this was just really happy. It took me a long time to build and put together, and I love it. You can kind of see the aircraft carrier my friend made over there. I told him it was a little too high out of the water, but once you start building, you can't really turn around. But you know, so this was the final. This was the final product of the cannons after he showed it me. And it took me not that long to make. It was just timely and a lot of detonations. Remember to back up your files if you do anything like this. And remember, just, you know, have fun. Because it's all about blowing stuff up. Everyone likes blowing things up. This is ToxicRoach. I hope you enjoyed and found this helpful and want to try this out. Remember to let me like this video if you found it helpful. And if you guys do anything and with these cannons and you find them helpful, do anything cool, make sure to post a reply video so I can check it out. I'd love to see what other people come up with the idea. So, enjoy.